Hello viewer! Welcome back to some more Vagrus adventures in this horrible but beautiful wasteland. If you remember from the last time, my plan was to visit all the villages and then make my way north to Kratos. Well, that plan is actually a bust, because I took a little peek into Ben's playthrough. And it turns out you actually need to be on a specific quest to go up there, so I am not gonna be able to go there. Which means we're gonna do our business here in Eitrar. Now, let's see. You enter the confines of Eitrar's low walls, while the Comitatus camps outside. Stretched across the spine of a milder incline of the mountainside, it was built on terraces, its sturdy buildings interspersed with standing stones and crystal totems. Far above the peak of the great mountain is hidden from sight by the ashen clouds hanging low in the sky. Okay, and right here we have that hunter that Vorax is looking for. We're gonna do that in a minute. Let's go visit the shamans first. Not that there is anything else to do in here. The Earth Shamans of the Eitrar tribe are the undisputed leaders of their people. Their stoic but stalwart nature is the rock-solid foundation that their society is built upon. The daily gathering of Eitrar's most influential shamans can be attended by outsiders as well, so you trudge over to the decorated entrance of the cavern where the meeting takes place. Inside it, living, glowing crystals provide light, and the exquisite cave paintings depicting Eitrar's history stretch along many walls. The shamans sit in a circle in the middle of the largest hall, their decisive voices echoing among stalagmites and neighboring chambers. They discuss the important matters of the tribe, as well as listen to news and propositions from outsiders. After a lengthy discussion of what the Earth Spirit commands, you get the chance to address the shamans. Okay. Do you have anything special for trade? Dwarven gadget. Mining equipment, which I already own. We can sell them a crystal lamp. Yeah, okay, why not? Don't even remember where I got this from. Little bit of quick and easy money. Now, do we get some extra lore in here? A younger shaman rises to speak about his people. We are the Eitrar of the Sadirar people. Our ancestors survived the shattering that destroyed the tribes of the forgotten people that poisoned the land. Before the earth and the skies opened to decimate the world, our ancestors heeded the warnings of the great spirits and hid underground where it was safest. Later, the spirits led our ancestors out of the caves and across the searing plains. They showed us how to survive and where to live. Yet the places beneath the earth remained blessed and had to be looked after, for Earth Spirit was the one who protected us from complete destruction during the shattering. And so the Eitrar are protectors, builders, and delvers who stayed close to the bones of the world. Thus, Earth Spirit adopted us and we adopted it. We command the earth and soil when we need to. We explore caverns and fashion tools from crystals and metal alike, rare things in the world since the shattering. And we, like all the four tribes, send emissaries to the village of Sadirar, who guide our people in matters that concern all of us. The other shamans nod in agreement after he had concluded his speech. Very well. Now let's collect the final blessing. Or at least get on the road for that. The shamans discuss this briefly among themselves in their native tongue. Then one of them, a young woman, turns to you. You are not yet touched by Earth Spirit, and so not yet the friend of the Eitrar. If that is your wish, if you want our blessing, prove to us that you are worthy. Undertake the trial of Earth Something that our people do once they come of age. Would you be willing to do this? Indeed. Now, what's this about? You tell the shamans that you will take up the trial of Earth. There is a murmur of approval that washes over the gathering in the cavernous hall. You are to enter the Grotto of Reflection, outsider, the young shaman instructs you. These caverns are the most sacred for our tribe, and they stretch far and deep into the roots of the mountain. Once you descend, the bowels of the earth will take you through the trial. Should you fail the tasks presented to you down there, you can always try again, but be careful. The grotto can be a dangerous place. You know what to do. Huh, interesting. We can try it once a day. Well, it can be that hard if they let us try it every day. Probably gonna make a save before attempting. What about that hunter? Upon mentioning a hunter from a foreign land, the locals tell you about a stone hut several hundred yards north of the village. The huntsman lives there alone. Accompanied by Vorax, you hide across Eitrar, down into a ravine on the northern slope, onto a ledge overlooking a great chasm. There's a dome-shaped hut built from the local brownish stone. A dome-shaped hut built from the local brownish stone stands precariously close to the edge. As you approach it, a man appears in the doorway and hails you with a wave of his hand. Coming closer, you can see that he is wearing loose desert robes and pants along with a hood. All his apparel matches the brown-grey of your surroundings. His face is sun-beaten and tanned, displaying a constant frown, defeated more than mistrustful. "So, you found me," he says in a raspy voice when you walk up to him. Vorax grins. "Hey, old friend," the undead chef exclaims. "Good to see you." Burhak nods with a faint smile and bows his head to you as a way of greeting. He invites the two of you to sit down by the campfire outside his hut. He offers you some water and asks Vorax why he has come to find him at the end of the world. "I need your expertise, Burhak, in acquiring a Jakar Talbot, no less, but one that is imbued with a magical substance instead of spices and tinctures." Vorax holds a dramatic pause, peering at his old acquaintance, and the hunter nods, slowly. "I owe you for that dinner at the Dustwind Outpost," Burhak says after a pause, "and I happen to know of an alpha that would make do. If you get the proper bait and prepare it for the hunt, I'll do the rest. Some lures and slime grass will do." Vorax is beside himself with joy upon hearing that the hunter is willing to help his venture. Burhak will be here to discuss the details. Okay. So what do we need? Burhak explains that there is a huge Jakra alpha in the vicinity that would be ideal for what Vorax has in mind. The Eitrar haven't chased it away because it hasn't bothered the tribe yet, the hunter says. But it's only a matter of time because this beast is gathering a pack large enough to pose a serious threat. Their lair is in a cave up north, at the end of a ravine. If we're to do what Vorax wants to do, we'll need bait. Quite a lot, actually. We'll have to blend the divine ichor into it, so that once the creature eats it, the substance can prepare its stomach the way I want it, Vorax adds. Then we'll also need some slime grass too to mask the odor of your ingredient. Once we make sure the alpha eats the bait, we'll wait 3 days, then throw it into a trap, slay it, and you can extract your imbued stomach. Vorax claps excitedly. Can't wait, can't wait. Okay. 10 beast lures and 10 slime grass. I have like 30 beast lures, so that's not a problem. So, how do you know Vorax, anyway? How do we know each other? Burhak's question is rhetorical. Vorax chuckles. First time we met was the undead cook scratches his chins. Where The inn at the Briar Fields? No, that was later. It was an inn, alright, Burhek nods. In Kabur, where you worked as a cook at the Golden Lamp. I brought you game for some meals. The inn at the Briar Fields came later. But to be truthful, even though we had met before, our friendship began with the Dustwind Outpost dinner. Right, Vorax claps. Got yourself into quite a mess, old friend. Burhek looks at you, sighs, then begins to explain. I was caught by a terrible ash storm after I left the camp of the Jaluak tribe of Ashmen. They were kind enough to offer their hospitality for months on end, but I began to feel that I was overstaying my welcome. Anyhow, the storm hit and I had to find shelter at the outpost. This was years and years ago. Bounty hunters were looking for me all over Terra Supra. So I get to the outpost and I find Vorax, an acquaintance, working as a cook. I also found bounty hunters huddled in the common room. Or, more accurately, they found me. It was a standoff, alright. They couldn't decide who should get the bounty. After the first man was slain, they agreed to a temporary truce and sat down to eat. Me, bound and gagged, sitting in a corner. An hour passes, and I see that the bounty hunters are becoming doozy, one by one falling asleep. Once they were all sleeping, out comes Vorax, unties me, feeds me, and talks to me long into the night until the damn storm finally ceased and I got away on one of the hunters, Ifriani. That's a new word. Bipedal skate cover carnivores of draconic origin. Oh, okay, so lizard mounts. I understand. A pinch of the right herbs, Vorax shrugs innocently. I had to. You would have been executed, old fool. Dead or alive, they said. They were discussing how to cut you into pieces. And I'm forever grateful, Burhek nods. Well, that was quite the adventure. Ask Burhek about his people, the Bandul. The home of my people, the Bandul, is the Bronze Desert up northwest, as you may know. The hunter begins to speak and pours you some cool water from a water skin. Ah, it's up here, okay. That's pretty far away. My ancestors have been roaming that land for countless generations, having learned to eke out an honest living in the desert. Then the Imperials came and brought slavery. To us, condemning someone to live in such bonds is worse than death. So we fought but lost. The Iron Legion subjugated my land. Burhek stares at the horizon dreamily for a while. Then came the great burning of the world, followed by the harshest time my people had to face. But we were born to roam the desert, and even though our home was now unbearably hot and dry, we survived, clinging to the oasis. Then the Imperials returned, darker and fouler than before, and ever since, most of my people have had to bow to them. That is how we are, well, except for the few that leave. So if you came from up there, why are you all the way down here? Burhek smiles faintly, a rare sight. When I was young, I was quite hot-headed, he admits. I took up arms against the Imperials, fell in with warriors who preyed upon comitati led by outsiders. My bow and blade fed many, and not all of them deserving. In the end, my family paid for my attempts at becoming a hero. There's no beating the Empire, not like that. Burhek makes a sign with his hand, putting it to his chest, to pay his respects to the dead apparently. I was wandering the continent for quite some time. There's no point in going into details. But no matter how far I went, no matter how I changed, the Empire could not forget my transgressions. I was a hunter hunted. In the end, I came here. Nobody comes here without a very good reason, and the Aitrar were kind enough to allow me to stay. There's good hunting here too. I think I'll spend the rest of my days here, in blessed silence. Good for you then. So, we know what we need to do. Find the slime grass, then come here. Now, let's see what this grotto of reflection is all about. But first... There we go. Now we can take a try. Wait, where did it go? Okay, something happened. I seem to have lost the event in its entirety. And it doesn't look like it's an event node anywhere. That's weird. Okay, let's see if I can maybe reset it. Get a day of rest. Okay, here we go. The entrance of the grotto, located at the far side of the village, is decorated with crystal effigies, tribal symbols painted in earth colors and reds, and dream catchers of all sizes. 2 other tribesmen were placed here to guard the caverns, although you suppose that their role is more about offering guidance to those that are allowed to enter. They welcome you politely and tell you to go in only if you are ready to face the trials that Earth Spirit places before you. Expect a tough challenge. A protector of the spirits must be able to stand firm and have their wits about them. Okay, requires a companion. Up to 6. Let's see. The cold, dry caverns lead steeply into the bowels of the earth. Sometimes you spy the sky through narrow cracks on the cave's roof, but these grow less and less frequent as you progress. And so you eventually leave the light from outside behind, and so the only source of illumination is whatever you brought down here. At least until you reach the first cluster of crystals growing naturally on the walls and ceiling, providing a faint purple glow to indicate the path. As you make your way deeper and deeper into the grotto, you begin to notice cave paintings on the larger surfaces. They illustrate stories of hunts and wars, as well as great spirit rituals, probably the most important ones from the history of the Aetrar. Then you get to some of the more interesting ones, which seem to tell the tale of a great cataclysm that was visited upon the world. There is a great mountain, at the peak of which several prominent-looking figures are raising their hands to what look like beings of light, painted stark golden yellow. In the next image, these orbs of living light lead what looks like a tribe into holes in the earth, while the sky opens and fire rains down on the land. The next few images paint a haunting picture of what could only be the calamity. A blackened, twisted spirit seems to be overlooking the devastation, surrounded by a dozen or so dark flame orbs. But the tribe is safe beneath the earth, and when they emerge in the next image, they are divided into 4 and go in different directions, turning to orange, blue, white and brown, mimicking the beings of light that also changed color. You leave the cave paintings behind and reach a corridor that is so crowded with crystal formations that you can see as well as in daylight. Beyond, just across a natural archway, is a chamber filled with crystals that reach the height of people. Don't we get a picture? Oh, that's a shame. The crystal chamber and its endlessly varied clusters are magnificent to behold, or they would be if you were not stirred from your astonishment from a loud cracking sound. Turning towards it, you can see that two piles of crystal somehow came to life, and taking a vaguely human form, they start to lumber towards you, each footstep a clap of thunder. Oh, we got some crystal golems. God damn, these are terrifying. One big and one small. Okay, and the big one is almost twice as powerful. Crimson Shard and Crimson Splinter. Okay. Immune to stun and fear. Ignores block. Okay, so I guess evade would work better here. At least you have a pretty low accuracy, as long as I keep it debuffed. I should be fine. Oh, finally. That took a while. With a deafening, crushing noise, the last creature shatters on the floor. To your surprise, its light does not dissipate, but leaves behind the broken shell and floats into a cluster nearby. That formation, now luminous thanks to the new energy dancing in it, is colored differently towards the top. One crystal is stark green, the other is pure white, while the last one is a bright golden yellow. You become alarmed briefly as a voice begins to form in your mind. The light of the great spirits will reveal the true path. Looking around, you can see that you reached a dead end, which is confirmed by your companions, unless the crystals somehow reveal a hidden path. Well, I think... Hold on, how far back can I scroll? Okay, there was here on the paintings. Star gold and yellow, so those were the original spirits that helped the tribes. So I think we're gonna have to touch the yellow crystal here, because the white was... The white is the air spirit. Right? Fire, water, air and earth. Yeah, touch the yellow crystal. The yellow crystal is warm and your fingertips tingle gently from its touch. There is a loud crack and a part of a wall section opens organically, like clay being pulled apart all on its own. Behind it is a new corridor, leading down into darkness. Success! You descend through the corridor. Descending a set of natural-looking stairs, you go even deeper and wonder how far down in the mountain you are by now. You try to imagine what secrets lie dormant in the perpetual darkness at the root of the oldest mountains. At length, you enter a vast chamber, where tribal symbols painted on the walls are interspersed by glowing crystalline formations. The cavern opens onto a large pit about 60 feet in. It is so deep that you can only see darkness below. Piles of sacrificial gifts line several flat stones on the edge. Then suddenly, one of the many large crystal formations moves with a loud crack, and you come face to face with another crystalline creature. It walks towards you with thunderous footfalls and a malevolent glow inside its transparent body. You have to defeat the creature. Oh, and this is a different kind. Oh no. Please don't tell me there's gonna be 4 of these things. One for each tribe. First was red, so it's fire. Now it's blue, so water. Yeah, looks like it. And this one has a lower fire resist and much lower electric. The fire ones were weak to mind. I see. They are actually identical in every other way. Okay, I'm actually gonna skip to the end of this. The last echoes of the struggle against the crystal creature abate, and you can take a better look around. Apart from their sacrificial gifts, trinkets, jewelry, dried food, there seems to be nothing of interest here, unless... You walk to the ledge above the endless fall into darkness and glance down. For a long while, only pitch blackness stares back at you. But then a light, dim at first, flares up in the unfathomable depth of the pit and moves. Its golden hues dance from one place to the next, until you realize that the glow inhabits crystal formations far below you, ones that are colorless until the yellow wisps leap into them. This movement continues like a convoluted dance, and at the same time, all the crystals up at the ledge begin to emit their own light. The normally quiet tinkling sound they emit becomes louder and more pronounced until you perceive a pattern to them. They sigh music, faint at first, but the rhythm is there. And then there is the sense of something arriving, some great consciousness suddenly becoming aware of your existence. You can feel a presence now, vast, timeless, immovable and old, like the mountains themselves. It is deep, deep below you, in the bottomless pit, at the root of the mountain. It speaks to you, yet you cannot make out words, only feelings. The simple joy of encountering something new, sadness for not being able to convey meaning, the recognition of a fellow wandering spirit, and finally, a warmth that can only be likened to a parent's love for their progeny. Moments later, the vast unseen presence is gone, but the warmth remains for a long time to come. You stand there at the precipice for a while, unable to move or say anything, only pulled out of your reflections when a group of shamans appear. They tell you that you have completed the trial of Earth, break off a small crystal, fashion it into an effigy and hand it over to you. So that was really the Earth Spirit. It was a spirit, one of the oldest and greatest, one of the shamans replies. But whether or not it was Earth Spirit, we cannot say. It is unlikely that it would contact an outsider, although it has happened before. This place is a nexus for spirits wanderer, and many of them come here from time to time. Be glad that you are now blessed. Take the effigy to the council, who will recognize it as a symbol of your success. They escort your group to the surface, leaving you contemplating what you have experienced in the grotto. Well, that went almost smoothly. Only took like half an hour. Still, pretty decent time. Let's go back to the shamans then. Once you present the crystalline effigy to the shamans, they stand up and start singing a lengthy song of initiation. Blessed rocks are passed around, and you have to hold them while wet clay is smeared across your face and limbs. Even though it is odd and uncomfortable, nothing harmful happens. You are now blessed by Earth Spirit's friend, the oldest of the shamans says, touching your forehead. But you can return to us from now on to be blessed again. We are honored to have an outsider such as yourself among the defenders of all that is holy. It is also our custom to share the boons of the earth with such allies as you from time to time. You can ask for the gift of earth every 6 days or so from now on, when you are here in Eitrar. It seems your efforts were not in vain. They take you to the place where the boon is divided. Okay, we gain Blessing of Earth. In accordance with their promise, the shamans instructed the locals to give you a portion of the boon of the earth they collect from the smaller tribes of the mountains each week. Oh, this is available every 10 days, okay. It is time again to distribute the boon the earth gave the Eitrar, and you received your gift too. You will have to take your pick between minerals or edible produce. Both are equally blessed by Earth Spirit. Okay, that's neat. Let's choose the minerals. Got +3. Ceruleus Crystal. Eh, not gonna complain. It is free after all. Okay. Yeah, isn't really worth all that much. Alright then. I'm guessing that is the end of our adventures in here. Completed the trial. Right, let's see what this is. 14 days for the Blessing of Earth. Foraging chance, max vigor and defense. That's pretty nice. I do wonder. We're gonna have to do this whole trip again. Once every trial is completed. Maybe if we have every blessing at the same time, something would happen. We will see, but for now... Technically the Trial of Waters is completed, so... How about we go back to Vitrar? Get our reward. Oh, hold on, this is new. Waking to the sound of panicked shouting in the middle of the night is always a terrifying experience, but this one is especially nightmarish, due to the guttural howls and snarls accompanying the cries of your commes. Through the cloth of the tent you can see an odd assortment of dancing lights. Are things on fire? You leap out of your bedroll, grab a weapon, and out of the tent you stride, trying to take account of the situation. What you see baffles you. Your whole crew is in disarray as they try to stop a handful of wiry, leaping humanoids who jump about your camp, setting things on fire with their bare touch and attacking people. A tongue of flame misses your head just barely, and you can see that it came from the direction of Nedir's camp. The sorceress is battling what looks like the majority of the creatures, casting her own fiery spells to repel them, with mild success. Girl, did you just try to do a bunch of summoning in camp? That's not cool. Yelling orders to her commes, you rush to her help. Nedir is clearly holding her own, but for how long it's difficult to say. A larger demon seems to lead the pack, and it is now circling the sorceress, joined by several smaller fiends. Okay, so maybe you weren't trying to summon. Maybe something came for one of your familiars? That sounds more likely. Oh boy, here we go fighting again. Oh, you're all so ugly. Just a bunch of fiends and an archfiend. How are they different? Okay, regular fiends have acrobatic, and you have frenzy. After you deal damage in melee, you can gain initiative and damage for 1 turn. Yikes. I don't like the sound of that. Okay, see you when it's over. Finally, the last of the demons is destroyed. Its body burning up in flames and vanishing during its death throes. Just like the rest before it. Only piles of fine grey ash remain behind after the nightmarish attack. Panting, you check on everyone. The Comitatus suffered no losses, but everyone is fairly shaken and bruised after the demonic pandemonium. Fires are put out and wounds are tended to. Once your coma has settled down and you make sure you are safe, your gaze meets that of Nedir and you realize immediately that she was the cause of this. Well, no shit. I believe that I owe you an explanation, Vagrus, the sorceress says without a hint of guilt, but her eyes betray her uncertainty. She indicates her tent and enters. You follow her, sit down inside, and tell her to start talking. You gain beaten and bruised. I don't like the sound of that. What's that mean? Nedir rubs her temples and looks at her feet until you ask her what in Tartaris happened. I am unsure, she hesitates and sighs. Well, I am sure that we were, or rather, I was, attacked by lesser demons, and I also suspect that it happened here because of a local tear in the barrier between realms, but I do not know why it happened. You ask her if this was the first time. No, not exactly. There were 2 other attacks about a month apart each, but those were much less potent. 2 or 3 small fiends, nothing my spells of abjuration could not handle. But this is serious. And it also confirms that the attacks won't stop. If anything, they are going to get more and more devastating. Is that fear you hear in her voice? You ask her what she is planning to do. I have to look into the matter, at fast. I have someone to turn to, a powerful sorcerer who lives in Avernum. He is called Incanus, and he used to be my tutor. I need to consult him. Would you be willing to visit the city? I realize that my presence has become somewhat of a risk for you, but perhaps we can work this out. Both of you know that you have arrived to a crossroads in your professional relationship. Huh. So if you don't want to deal with her at all, I suppose you can just send her away. I wonder what happens then. Do you just lose her as a companion forever? Or do you maybe get a chance to pick her back up? And then you have to continue on her quest. Interesting. I don't think any of the others have ever presented such a choice. Well, she is currently the only mage I have, so I kinda have to keep her around. Don't want to keep hiring new ones every month or so. Nedir's face lights up when you tell her that she can stay. That's the spirit. I appreciate your strength of mind, Vagrus, and I shall continue to serve in all matters sorceress, as per our contract, of course. Let us make our way quickly to the mage in Avernum. I do not know how frequent these attacks turn out to be, and I am sure that you wish to avoid unnecessary risks. And it's not like you can't change your mind and send me away, but I know you won't. Her smile is less cruel than usual. You leave the tent, make sure the camp is safe, tend to the crew some, then return to your own bedroll. Eventually, you sink into a fitful sleep. Lost a vigor. And it looks like this is the official start of Nedir's personal quest. Nedir is cursed to be haunted by demons, and you agreed to help her lift the curse. Okay then. We're almost to Vitrar. And we're here. Let's rest here a little bit. There we go. And here's the effigy. Once the shamans receive your enchanted effigy and hear your detailed report of what happened at the accursed writhing oasis, they chant a prayer to Water Spirit for protecting the Nakar. Then the elders withdraw to discuss her startling discoveries further. You are left with the younger shamans, who now perform the blessing as a token of their gratitude. They submerge you gently into one of the sacred pools and sing songs of initiation until your ears hurt. At length you rise, soaking wet, but blessed by their deity. You are now blessed by Water Spirit Wanderer, the shaman leading the ceremony says, claiming that you are now a close friend of the tribe for having attained the blessing of their great spirit. But you can return to be blessed again. Go now, live, grow, and flow with your soul's calling. You are now accepted by the Vitrar. Wonderful. We're already halfway there. So, Blessing of the Waters. Foraging chance. +2 nutrition. +5 healing chance. Okay, but how is that? So it's like a general buff to nutrition. I'll take that. Right. So, next up, Avernum. Alright, tell you what, I don't know exactly how long this episode's been going on, but my voice is beginning to give out, so I am going to stop right here. Next time we're going to talk to Incanus. See what all this demon business is about. From there, the plan is to do the next step of the science quest. I don't know what awaits us here in the Singing Winds. Kinda want to be a little more prepared for that. But for now, thank you for watching. If you enjoy my bumbling around in any capacity, then please give the video a like, really helps me with the algorithm. Subscribe to the channel to see some of my other stuff, and as always, I hope to see you in the next one. But until then, safe travels, Vagrus.